This is National Police Week. We'll see what that means at Ellsworth Air Force Base. A Sturgis man strikes a plea deal in the attempted murder of a police officer in Meade County. And House Republicans unveil Medicaid cuts. The Democrats warn will leave millions without care. Your news starts now.
From Skyline Drive, this is KOTA Territory News at 5:30.
Good evening, I'm Jack Cottle. Proposed Medicaid cuts could leave thousands of people in KOTA territory without the care they need. The plan to cut $880 billion from Medicaid is raising alarm in South Dakota, where nearly 150,000 people rely on the program. Lawmakers say the cuts are meant to reduce federal spending and help pay for an extension of tax cuts set to expire this year. But Ben Hansen of the American Cancer Society said these cuts will be detrimental. The proposal could leave 8.6 million Americans uninsured, according to the Congressional Budget Office.
There is no way to cut out, wasteful side projects or, with Medicaid, there's no real side projects. It goes directly into insuring people to get things like checkups, to help people stay in nursing homes. You can't cut $880 billion from a program like this that's going directly to, in the case of South Dakota, 147,000 South Dakotans, and not expect it to rip away coverage for folks that this is how they've gotten theirs.
On Tuesday, House lawmakers will debate the cuts, and Hansen urges South Dakotans to contact Senators Thune and Rounds and Representative Johnson to remind them of what he says how this will drastically impact rural hospitals, nursing homes, and patients in South Dakota. Well, we started off the work week on a hot note, but did we manage to break the record high? Meteorologist Ryan Larmew is in the First Alert Weather Center with the latest details. So, did we get there or not today?
We got there. The old record, 89 degrees, Jack, and we shattered it today. We got up into the 90s once again for the second day in a row, breaking that record high. Our not official high temperature yet, but the highest temperature recorded at the National Weather Service in Rapid City. That was at 2:41 p.m. 93 degrees would break that record high of 89 set back in 1941, and we are still hot right now. Look at Phillip. They're near 100. They're at 97 degrees right now. Porcupine's at 90. Spearfish, a nicer spot at 84. Well, Rapid City, we're sitting at 91 still in downtown. For the rest of the evening, we will see those temperatures slowly and gradually cool off as temperatures get from the 80s before sunset into the 70s after sunset. Mostly clear to mostly sunny skies are expected for the rest of the evening. But are we expecting these warm temperatures to continue, or are we going back to normal? I'll be planning out the entire week ahead coming up.
Thank you, Ryan. A 20-year-old man from Sturgis has pleaded guilty but mentally ill to charges in connection with a shooting at the Meade County Law Enforcement Center. According to Meade County Sheriff Pat West, Frederick Wilson Jr. fired shots at the Law Enforcement Center late at night on June 30th of last year. An officer stepped outside and received gunfire. The officer returned fire. Wilson fled and was apprehended nearby by police. Explosive components were found near the entry doors of the building. Meade County Sheriff Pat West says despite the mentally ill plea, he maintains the shooting was an attack on law enforcement.
This guy decided that he wanted to shoot up our building. And, I'm not sure what the end result was for him. But not only did he try to blow up the front entrance of our facility, he engaged in a running gun battle out our front doors.
Wilson is set to be sentenced in July in Fourth Circuit Court, just steps from where he committed the crime. President John F. Kennedy signed a proclamation in 1962 designating May 15th as Peace Officers Memorial Day, and the week it falls on is National Police Week. KOTA Territory's Hannah Hutter met with members of the 28th Security Forces Squadron to learn about being a police officer on Ellsworth Air Force Base.
They may not patrol the Rapid City streets, but the 28th Security Forces Squadron is always on duty protecting the Ellsworth Air Force Base. This National Police Week, we're giving you a closer look to the defenders in uniform. Tech Sergeant Travis Allen is the Section Chief for Combat Arms Training and Maintenance, as well as Armory for the 28th Security Forces Squadron.
We come here and we are responsible for training the base on weapons handling procedures and firing. They get qualified here in order to go down range or PCS or to have home station arming requirements.
And if that wasn't enough, they are also in charge of maintaining all the weapons on the base. Anytime a weapon is broken, it must go through Allen and his team.
Of a very fluent schedule, but typically if we have a class, we come in, we prepare the classroom for students. They come in, we teach for a couple hours, we take them out to the range, we have them fire. If there's any broken weapons, we'll handle it that day, And once these students are back in here, they qualified, we clean up.
Allen says his favorite part of the job is the maintenance. He added he also enjoys the teaching aspect. Staff Sergeant Joshua Roach is the military working dogs trainer for the Security Forces Squadron.
Show up, help feed dogs, and then pull either narcotics or explosives to set up for people to go out and do some training, and then have all the different handlers see how they engage it and teach them how to do it safely.
The Ellsworth military working dogs also have a relationship with law enforcement outside of the base.
Here we're responsible for the tri-state area for the bomb dogs, because we're the only ones around here with explosive dogs, and we help them out a lot. I think this year alone we had 3 bomb threats off base that we had to respond to after hours, so there's someone always on call for a bomb dog in this area.
The dogs and their handlers also work with the Secret Service from time to time. And Jason Wong once worked with the canines, but now he's the man in charge of physical security for the 28th Security Forces Squadron. Wong says it's important to recognize the men and women in security forces during Police Week.
They go out and put their lives on the line to do a lot of stuff that most people aren't able to or aren't willing to do. The opportunity that, that most of us in security forces or, like I said, the law enforcement or first responders do, I think it's good to kind of recognize them just so they feel appreciated. There's sometimes you get some bad raps, but most of the time you want to make sure everybody's kind of appreciated for they want to hear the good job.
In Box Elder, Hannah Hutter, KOTA Territory News.
On Wednesday of this week, expect 30 to 60-minute closures at various railroad crossings in Rapid City. The Rapid City Pier and Eastern Railroad notified city officials of plans to unload a train of pre-welded rail strings. The crossings affected are at Omaha Street, New York Street, Milwaukee Street, North Lacrosse Street, and East North Street. The tentative schedule for road closures at respective crossings are subject to change, but here they are. The Omaha Street crossing will be blocked around 5 a.m. for about an hour. The New York Street crossing will be blocked starting at 5:30 a.m. for 30 minutes. The railroad says Omaha Street and New York Street will be blocked at the same time for about 30 minutes. Milwaukee Street will be blocked starting at 5:50 a.m. for a half an hour. They say New York Street and Milwaukee Street will be blocked at the same time for approximately 20 minutes. North Lacrosse Street will be blocked starting at 6 a.m. for about 30 minutes. Milwaukee Street and Lacrosse Street will both be blocked for about 30 minutes. And finally, East North Street will be blocked around 6:30 a.m. for a half an hour. Officials say this and North Creek Drive will also be blocked at the same time. The deadline to register to vote in next month's Rapid City municipal election is next Monday, the same day absentee voting is set to begin. This year's municipal election is Tuesday, June 3rd, with candidates running in 3 of the city's 5 wards. Individuals wishing to register to vote or make changes in their registration can visit the Pennington County Auditor's Office at 130 Kansas City Street. Absentee voting is available Monday through Thursday, 7 a.m. to 6 p.m. at the County Auditor's Office. Early voting ends at 6 p.m. Monday, June 2nd. Later on KOTA Territory News, as summer rolls around, Visit Rapid City rolls out the trolley. The devil is in the details, but what are the details of the U.S. and China tariff talks? When we return, we take a look at the impact in South Dakota. The U.S. and China hit pause on their trade war, with both sides slashing tariffs for the next 90 days. Grant Green spoke to one professor on what he expects the market to look like over these next few weeks.
There is no certainty this slash in tariffs will last the full 90 days, which is why Dakota State economics professor Dan Talley says he expects a lot of manufacturing in the meantime.
You're going to see a lot of an attempt to do a lot of shipping very early, get orders in now in the next few weeks and book the available ships. That will probably cause those costs to go up.
However, Talley fears small businesses may still struggle to stock up on raw materials and products.
That's far better than 145%, but for many small businesses and smaller companies, 30% may again be just too high for them to be able to produce goods and services like they did back before these tariffs were even started.
South Dakota State University economics professor Everett Vandersloot says these sweeping tariffs were always going to counteract the goal to try and boost American businesses.
It will, it may make us feel good as, it looks like, when people say, well, we need to do something. But, sometimes the something is not the right answer.
Vandersloot says a production subsidy would have been a more successful alternative to tariffs because it wouldn't make American goods less appealing.
when it comes to products that are, commodities that are prices set in world market, and we face those tariffs, other countries don't, then we cannot compete.
President Trump told media that tariffs would not go back up all the way to 145% if conversations with China do not progress during that 90-day pause. In Sioux Falls, Grant Green, KOTA Territory News.
Meteorologist Ryan Larmew says that windy conditions are possible this week. He shows us the latest data and plans out your week ahead in your accurate First Alert forecast next.
Now, the First Alert forecast with meteorologist Ryan Larmew.
It's been a hot day around Rapid City, and we are still hot this evening. 91 degrees in downtown Rapid City. Complete sunshine out there. South winds at 11 fueling those warm temperatures, not only here but everywhere. We're seeing 90s spread across much of western South Dakota, 80s in northeast Wyoming and southeastern Montana. But look at Phillip. They got to 97 right now, and they got up a little more earlier this afternoon when they hit peak heating hours. So it's been a very hot day, a taste of summer, if you may. And these temperatures right now around the Black Hills, a little cooler in those elevations of the Black Hills. But as you head out onto the plains, we're getting a little warmer. The airport in Rapid City, 92, downtown's 91, West Rapid, 90 degrees on the dot. Custer State Park at the entrance there, 89 degrees. Temperatures throughout the rest of the overnight hours, we're going to start to see them drop. 80s are expected within the next hour or two, and then we'll start to drop into the 70s by the time we get to the after sunset hours. 9 and 10 o'clock will be in the 70s, and then mostly clear skies are expected to continue all night long as we head into tomorrow too. We're going to expect some of those sunny skies to start us off, and we're going to be hot once again. 72 degrees here by 9 a.m. It's going to be a very mild morning. This 65 right here at 6 a.m., that's our low temperature for overnight tonight into tomorrow morning. But that's where we usually are for high temperatures for this time of year. So a very mild night tonight, and we will be breezy once again tomorrow. Let's take a look at what we can expect for tomorrow. 81, so we're not as bad as we have been these past 2 days. Evening showers are possible, especially in northeast Wyoming and on some areas of the South Dakota plains. But we will be breezy here throughout a majority of the day with winds possibly up to 20 miles an hour, gusting up to 30. And let's plan everything out here on Futurecast, showing that we're talking about nice clear skies tonight. And then here comes the showers and possibly even a few rumbles of thunder by tomorrow afternoon. This model a little conservative with the moisture tomorrow. I think it's going to be a little more widespread, especially here on the southern South Dakota plains. We could see a few more of those storms pop up, and then we're going to be watching this Tuesday night into Wednesday morning, showing lots of shower activity starting to engulf areas of northeast Wyoming and southeast Montana. I think Rapid City stays dry Tuesday night, but by Wednesday I think this area will expand and start to get some more showers to the area, especially in the afternoon. We'll see another resurgence of moisture here on the South Dakota plains in central South Dakota, and by Thursday we're talking about another shot for some more precipitation across the area. And we're also going to be windy over the next few days. We're talking about tonight seeing the wind gust over 30 miles an hour on the plains, and then throughout the day tomorrow we're still up to 30 mile per hour gusts here tomorrow afternoon. By Wednesday we're seeing over 30 mile per hour gusts across the area. Everyone's seeing some gusty winds Wednesday afternoon and evening, but by Thursday that's where we get the killer. 50+ mile per hour gusts are possible Thursday afternoon and evening. So that is going to be our windiest day of the forecast. And as we head throughout the day on Friday, we're still a little breezy out there with wind gusts over 40 miles an hour. And as we head throughout the rest of Friday, they start to calm down just a little bit. But tonight we're mild again with a slight breeze, winds up to 15 miles an hour, 65 in Rapid City and Keystone, 55 in Custer and Sundance. Tomorrow temperatures are back in the 70s and 80s in and around the Black Hills. A few spots on the plains may get into the 90s. Phillip and Kadoga flirting with that at 89. Sheridan, the coolest at 69 degrees. Rain showers take over the forecast during the middle of the week and towards the end of the week. Rapid City breezy for the rest of the work week. And we're windy on Thursday. Some more thunderstorm chances by Sunday and maybe even Monday.
And a break from the heat wave a little bit.
A break from the heat waves. Hey, we got to taste the summer today, and I think a lot of people enjoyed it.
All right. Want to mention, we have the Care and Share food drive thing on Mother's Day at Reptile Gardens. Want to thank the community this year. 2,165 pounds of food.
That's amazing.
Collected for the Care and Share food drive. So going to Church Response. So great deal.
It's a great deal and a good day to get out to go and donate some food.
You got to see snakes too. So
exactly.
Life is good. All right. Thank you, Ryan. Coming up, you're in luck this evening as we have a big old fish headed your way. Plus, we chat with one of the newest members of the Rapid City Sports Hall of Fame. Vic Quick has all the details next in KOTA Sports.
Good evening, everybody. The high school baseball action rolls on tonight as Belfouche hosts Hot Springs. The Broncs have won 3 in a row to run their record to 9-6 on the season. The Bison entered tonight's game with a 5-13 record. First pitch is slated for 7 o'clock out in Belfouche. Longtime St. Thomas More football coach Wayne Sullivan and his son Jake are two of the newest members of the Rapid City Sports Hall of Fame. Wayne spent 32 seasons coaching the Cavs. Jake played for his dad at STM before heading down the street to South Dakota Mines for his college career. These days, the quarterback is playing professionally in the European League of American Football. And while the elder Sullivan's teams accomplished impressive things on the field, he is most proud of what his players have done after he coached them.
As a team, being able to go to the state title game 6 times was a great accomplishment. But I think even better than that, all of our kids that graduated have become amazing husbands and fathers and very good in their communities that they ended up in. I am very blessed. I hear from them a lot. I always hear from a lot of my alumni. Well, obviously I was coached by 2 Hall of Fame coaches as well, Coach Dave Brody and Coach Dave Plouffe. And I really did a lot of my coaching from both of them and some of their discipline and some of the things that they did and just how they were able to treat their athletes. And then you get the most out of them.
The honors continue to roll in for the Black Hills State softball team. First baseman Ashlyn Powles and pitcher Lacey Pesky have been named to the D2 coaches all-region team. Powles hit .419 this season while driving in 55 runs. Pesky, a standout pitcher, was also named to the NFCA all-region team. The NBA playoffs will roll on tonight as the Timberwolves and Warriors hit the court for game number 4 of their second-round playoff series. Minnesota won game 3, 100-93 on Saturday to take a 2-1 lead. So big game tonight. Wolves could go up 3-1. Tip-off is at 8 o'clock out in California. Now the Nuggets dropped game 4 at home to the Warriors 92-87 yesterday. So that series is now tied at 2 games apiece. Game 5 is tomorrow night in Oklahoma City. Well, let's jump on in for another edition of Big Old Fish. And this evening, Zane Brewer is our featured angler. The 6-year-old caught this 5-pound bass out of Derby Dam. Congratulations, Zane, and best of luck in the rest of your fishing endeavors. You too can be featured on Big Old Fish. Just send us your picture by using the Submit Photos link at KOTATV.com. Make sure and give us the name of the person who caught the fish, what kind of fish it is, how big it is, and where it was caught. Get those pictures in, and we will get you on Big Old Fish. Also in the playoffs tonight, game 3 between the Knicks and Celtics. New York won the first 2 games on the road, and then Boston turned that trick, winning game 3 Saturday. So they'll be back on the court for game 4 tonight. Also in the Stanley Cup playoffs tonight, Hurricanes and Capitals playing in the first period. Carolina leads at 1-0. Hurricanes lead the series 2-1. Golden Knights and Oilers also on the ice later tonight. Edmonton up 2-1 in that series.
All right, thank you very much, Vic. Well, Rapid City tradition hits the road again today. We'll take you for a ride when we come back.
Be sure to tune in to KOTA Territory News at 6 on Fox. The Trump administration signs an executive order that affects the prices of prescription drugs.
Starting today, the United States will no longer subsidize the health care of foreign countries.
Plus, Consumer Reports breaks down which foods moms-to-be should watch out for and why it matters. Those stories and more are tonight at 6 on Fox.
The City View Trolley returned today. It's an ideal way for visitors to get an overview of Rapid City. The trolley is a 2-hour tour of Rapid City, visiting downtown landmarks, the West Boulevard Historic District, Dinosaur Park, Main Street Square, and more. Tours run daily at 10 a.m. and 1:30 p.m. through October 3rd, with a new pickup location at the Rushmore Hotel. And tickets can be purchased at visitrapidcity.com.
It's a tour of Rapid City that gives a quick overview of the different sites, historical and otherwise, of what goes on in Rapid and some of the interesting things to do, different restaurants and different places of interest.
One of the trolley's main stops is the chapel in the hills, where visitors can take a 30-minute break to explore the chapel, a little bit of Norway, and a prayer trail. Tours run all season, rain or shine. However, exceptions are made on a case-by-case basis. If you're interested in a trolley tour, you can go to visitrapidcity.com/cityview trolley tour. It'd be a little cooler tomorrow to go out on a ride.
Yeah, it won't be so unbearably hot like we have been for the past few days, but yeah, that's a nice little attraction.
Absolutely.
And tomorrow, iffy weather for it. We have some rain showers in the forecast in the evening, but most of the tour should be fine. Okay. But tonight will be mild, 40s and 50s in northeast Wyoming, 50s and 60s in western South Dakota. We're mild again, a slight breeze, and then tomorrow some evening showers are possible, and we're not as hot, only 81.
Okay, breezy or windy? Maybe both?
All the above.
All right, that'll do it for us. Thanks for watching. Hope to see you.
Thanks for watching KOTA Territory News, your local news and weather authority.